I am a lawyer who does not actually want to become a lawyer. No, it's not a mistake. I'm very proud of undertaking the course. I love studying law. And yeah, I do not want to become a lawyer. I'll come to that in some time. There are two stages that everything. It's a beginner stage and a pro stage. So I put the pro in procrastination. This is my achievement. Other than that, I also put the word over in overthinking, because I am an overthinker who often takes sessions and talks with people on overthinking, and that is also my forte, because it comes from a person who overthinks a lot. And is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Maybe a fascinating thing about the human mind will something will come to also while I'm talking about uh, what I'm talking about today. Other than that, I have this constant strive to be different. Anything that that people are following, I have a strive. I would not do it. So my friends, when I was in when I was say 4 years, 5 years back, when Game of Thrones was certainly very much of a hype, my friend said you should watch Game of Thrones. I said because everyone is watching, I would not watch it. But then I watched it later and certainly liked it. This is with everything that I come across, that I would not do what is, I think, ordinary. Why is that? Because you have this constant strive within yourself and constant fight within yourself to prove that you're different. Maybe all of us are same within, but we have to prove that we're different. That is how we are wired as human beings. Also, I am a dreamer, is how I define myself as. This is literally what my bio also says on Instagram, because I define myself as a dreamer because I dream. I think it's good to dream because it takes you closer to your journey, takes you closer to your destination. But what I'm going to speak about today is that what is the plan? Why do you need to have a plan? And I am constantly faced by this habit, as a person who's a first generation lawyer in the family often gets into arguments with parents, and parents say ki, don't be a lawyer at home. We have this constant strive to prove that and argue that we are right. This is the law, fraternity. This is the law. Gene speaking from me. So we have a strive to prove that and argue that we are right. So I will argue and explain to you why it's not important to have a plan, and why should you should not have a plan. And I'm saying I will persistently argue about this. So in light of this, let's talk about what is a plan, and what happens when you plan. You plan because you want things to go by your way. If I say today I plan by the age of and you might see that you plan at the age of 3 that I want to become, and this is a common goal that most of us share, either doctor or say I want to become an astronaut, is something I've heard from people who are into their young age. I wanted to become an astronaut, but and it's common with a lot of kids at a young age, which changes to certainly when you are a little mature, you want to become an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, or say set professions. Then you realize कि नहीं यार doctor क्यों बनना है? Why should I become a doctor? And then you finally start choosing, when you become mature, what is actually that you want. The idea that I'm trying to highlight here is that as human beings, we are wired to make a plan, yeah, and we are wired to plan things. This is where, and again, as I said, I put the pro in procrastination and over in overthinking. So I know that we overthink about our plans, constantly question ourselves, constantly are faced in this battle with ourselves. If our plan is right, if I do not have a plan, so what? What if I fail? I mean, if I do not have a plan, I think I'm definitely going to fail. Let's take the other side and say, if I have a plan, I can still fail. So a trip with my friends, which was we were planning for 2 years, to Goa, never happened. But a trip to Manali, which was planned a day before, did happen, and it was wonderful. Why is that? Because we forget as human beings to live in the moment and to go with the flow, is something that I'm trying to argue today. Do not make a plan. Why? Because when you make a plan, you invest your energy rather than focusing on what is right in front of you to what you want your future to be. Yeah. And I think this is where, as human beings, we mess up a little. So what I'm also trying to highlight here is that, we constantly fear failure, and we say, I want to make a plan because I don't want to regret later that I did not make a plan and still failed. Two words here I would like to highlight: failure and regret. Yeah. And in light of this, let's come to failure. You might have heard failure is a stepping stone to success. All of us have heard that since nursery, we've been hearing that. But what is important that, and I would like to highlight, is that I observe from, I'm a big fan of movies, especially superhero movies. And a quote from Batman here is reminded every time I talk about failure. It is that Alfred, who is supposedly, the butler of Batman, but also his best friend, kind of. So says that, why do we fall? We fall so that we can learn to pick ourselves up. And indeed, it is true. You see, the idea is we fear failing so much that we forget that what makes us great is our journey, not our destination. Because journey is always more important than the destination. Experiences are always more important than the money you are getting. What you experience, how you fail, what you learn is always more important than everything else combined. So let us please try and understand that, if I do not have a plan, I fail, and I fear failure because I think if I fail, it makes me less of a person. It makes me less of a human. It makes me less of an individual who's great, who's significant. And becoming significant is our goal in life, is it not? You will not come across any person who said, I want to be an ordinary person when I, grow up, or when I achieve what I achieve, when I am established in my life. You will never hear it someone saying that my goal is to become ordinary in life. So at the end of the day, it's not uncommon to us to realize that other people also want to become significant. All our life, we are running after this constant battle again with ourselves, that we want to become significant, and we punish ourselves and blame ourselves for not trying hard to be significant, for not having a plan. I am, say, 23 years old, and I do not have a plan of what to do next in my life. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I cannot say at this point, because certainly not, I do not predict future. But what I can say for sure is that regret is a word I used. And do I regret anything I've done in my life so far? No. Because everything I've done so far has taught me something. Everything I've done so far has taught me what to do and what to not do in the future. Is it bad to fail? Is it bad to come across unpleasant experiences? No, because that is certainly, what protects you, what helps you grow as an individual, tells you what to do in the future, what not to do in the future. And it's a misfortunate situation, that we have to see that all our lives we escape, we run away from failing, when it's the most important thing you ever need to have in your life. Someone also pointed out here, and I'm honored to be amidst great speakers here who are so inspiring, who are so brilliant. Someone pointed out here that step out of your comfort zone. I say that's absolutely necessary, because you would never learn until you do not step out of your comfort zone. But what is also important is you do not have to be a hero every time, and understand that I have to take the hard way. You have to be a little easy on yourself also. I come from a middle class family. I realize how important opportunities are. I have been looking for opportunities all my life, because I've seen, in the face of opportunities coming your way, your life changes overnight. This happened with a lot of people. This happens with people every day. So, and on the other hand, we're also taught that it's bad to be opportunistic. So there's an irony in life in itself involved. What derives us to make a plan, to run after it, to blame ourselves for not having a plan, and to fail at our plan, is not what is within, because within the answer to the question. Within how to go about it. What we are faced with is what our society expects from us, and we try to comply and impress them, because we think we are like-minded members of society who have to live in the society. If I do not impress the society today, and if I do not follow the plan that's supposed to be there, how would I make a difference? So it's certainly, and this question that I have to choose a passion, I have to realize what is my goal in life, what is my ikigai, as Charmika also pointed out. is important, certainly very important. But is it that at the age of 23 today, when I'm delivering this TED talk, have I figured out what to do in my life? Maybe, maybe not. But can I say by an year from now, I will be able to figure out? Maybe, certainly will be. I may figure out a plan. But by the age of 40 or 60 or 80, your plan will still change. It's an ever evolving process. You will never be able to figure out that this is the goal of my life. It would certainly vary. It would certainly be on this same lines that, I want to, for a person who's a lawyer, does not want to become a lawyer, is how I introduced myself in the beginning. And I would want to emphasize that, I take pride in saying that I have done a 5-year degree in law, and I do not want to become a lawyer because I love studying the subject. I enjoyed my journey more than my destination. My destination is not becoming a lawyer. My journey studying law and helping a lot of people around me is what makes me the person I am. So it is certainly more important to realize that, sometimes you have to go with the flow. You have to understand that, sometimes you have to understand that it's not too late to realize your passion. You do a 5-year course, and it's a very long-term commitment. Doing a 5-year course into a particular thing. Let's say you invested 10 years into a discipline, and then you say after you're going to end those 10 years, you're like, I don't want to actually do this. Is it too late to now back out from it? Is it too late to change my career path? Is it too late to change my goal? An idealistic answer would be yes. A realist answer, however, would be that then why in the first place have I invested 10 years into this? Life is short. Why have I invested 10 years into this when I'm not going to actually do this or pursue this? This is what is important. This is the constant struggle we face with ourselves. We often face a struggle that we are bound by this thought that maybe it's too late to change my career path. Maybe it's too late to change my goals. Maybe I have been into, say, a relationship for 7 years, and now it's too late to back out from it. No. I mean, you would certainly be torturing yourself by being into something you do not like. At the end of the day, what is the dream? Doing a job, going home, sleeping sound and safe at night, thinking that, yes, I'm making a difference. I'm doing something I'm meant to do. Is it not? I think it's common for all of us. So, the problem, and I say that the major features I would like to highlight here with me is that I was into University of Delhi in the year 2016, studied an year there, political science honors, decided I do not want to do it. I was very interested in studying. Do I regret studying a year there? Not at all. I experienced what DOEs. I entered into college people aspire to be in. Left the university, joined law at Symbiosis. Now doing a 5-year course, going to graduate in the next 6 months. Realize that I have realized that law is not. I do not want to actually become a lawyer. I want to teach law for sure. I love studying law, as I said. I want to train young minds across the country because this is what derives passion into me. So my journey, I think, is not just personal to me. It's something I think is faced by a lot of people I come across every day. What derives me to get out of bed every day is the idea that I'm making a difference. I'm doing something significant. I think it's common for all of us. If you have to follow a routine of monotony, a routine where you are just waking up and doing your job, going to bed unsatisfied that क्या यार आज का दिन निकल गया, कल सुबह फिर I have to go to college or say school or my job. Is it a life worth living? Idealistically, no. Realistically, I also have to sustain myself. There's something called, I do a job not just to go to bed satisfied. I do a job because I have to wake up in the morning and also incur my expenses. Yeah. So most of us also make decisions like that. This is common to all of us because if I would not go into a 5-year course thinking that I've studied law for 5 years and I'm meant to become a lawyer, why in the first place I've invested 5 years into this? That's a fair question to ask yourself. But if I invest my 5 years, as the case is here, for deciding what my, if I take a reference of 5 years for deciding what my next 15 years is going to look, I'm making an unfair judgment, because maybe not right now. 10 years from now, you will regret something that you should not be regretting. Taking, deciding your journey, deciding your passion is something, that takes all your life, and it will certainly change across. I am ambitious. I am an overachiever. I am an ambivert. So ambivert in the sense that I'm very happy to interact with all of you here. You call me, I'll be very hesitant to pick up the call, because I am, I have a weird personality. I love it. Do I regret it? No. So again, the thing here is this, that I think I'm capable. So it's a constant journey, and it's a constant battle you face with yourself, thinking, and you lose confidence in yourself. You have to understand that if you lose confidence in yourself, no one else will believe in you. Because as also pointed out here before, sometime before, that I make a difference realizing that, I'm doing something different. But we are conditioned in a society which wants us to do something different. But when we do something different, we are viewed as very, very, very different. Why is this person doing something like this? So my goal is not having a plan. My goal is to go with the flow, because, this is on the basis of which I, along with, my team, have also founded this organization called Aspirant India Initiative, which is today become an all India enterprise, actually India's fastest growing education enterprise. The amount of rate at which the organization is growing is not important because it's an enterprise. It's growing because it's derived by a common passion for people to learn, for people to understand, for people to make mistakes, for people to teach others about their mistakes. And this is, I think, what I'm doing today, because this is my journey, which is more important than my destination. What if this does not work out? What if what if I fail? So I fail. We'll try again. This is, how we are wired as human beings. You might fail, you might have a setback, you might have a sabbatical, but you will come back from it. You will certainly come back from it stronger, and teaching others about your mistakes, telling them to make more mistakes. And with this, I would like to end with this message that believe in yourself, and you will certainly figure it out. I mean, only you can figure it out. No one else will. And on those lines, please make mistakes. Please fail. Please learn from your mistakes and your failures. Do better, inspire others. And with this, I think I would like to end. Thank you so much for giving me this platform. And this is my TED Talk. Thank you.